Welcome to the Paradise Paradox. My name's Aaron Battle.
My name's Kurt Robinson.
We're continuing the adventure out here in this beautiful country, Mexico, and we found ourselves just down here by the river, Fluoro Blue River. I come down here all the time and it still blows me away. So we thought we'd come down here, enjoy nature, and share a couple stories.
Welcome to the Paradise Paradox. We're out here in a super tropical jungle right next to the river. We're out in the no man's land of the state of Puebla. The town of Pachuquilla, which population. What's the population of Pachuquilla?
Maybe 20.
Okay, we're in a town with a population of 20 people, away from the town where nobody even lives except for maybe the elves. And so we're out here partying with Aaron's family. And well, tell us about the tradition.
It's kind of a little bit of a heavy story, the way all this came about. But we're at the family ranch where my grandmother, my mother's mum, grew up. And well, let's see, where do I want to start back from? Well, this is her family home. This is where she grew up as a little girl. So even though it's about 4 hours outside Mexico City, it's a trek to get out here, and it's not exactly the most comfortable ride. The only buses that come out are kind of like outdated coaches, but it's cool. Like you make it out here, and it's worth it because you get so far away from some kind of collective reality. Like, you forget everyone's dressed up as cowboys, and it's farming. It's farm life. So I like coming out here. We also come out because a nearby town of Kisla, the tradition of Padre Jesus, which is going to be tonight with mass tomorrow morning, and a lot of people come out here. I know we've covered that before, but the thing is, my grandmother always wanted the family to come out to her house. She loved coming out here. She loved getting away from the city. And she would plan this New Year's party every single year. She would all year be organising her livestock, her turkeys, to put the food on. She would come out here by herself and wait for the family to turn up. And it never really ever brought a big crowd. There was always a couple families that would come out, but it wasn't the big party that she wanted it to be. What happened was, on the 31st of December 2007, she actually passed away. And her idea was to be buried here in the local cemetery, which is just outside, just a few on the street, just north of the house. It's a very small town. So of course, with the funeral being here on the 31st of December 2007, they organised a coach, and the whole family came out on that day. The whole idea of having the New Year's party so that you can think about how your year went, and then really try and positively manifest what you want for the following year. And it's like a night of meditation. The first of January is, the tradition is, you go to a kisla, and you sit in the church all night, and you're thinking about what you want to achieve this following year. She did this. This was her thing, and next to no one ever joined her. After the funeral, at the house, everyone was there. This is back in 2007. The first time, but the biggest turnout. It's kind of sad that the biggest turnout for her New Year's party was the year that she passed away, and it's because everyone went for the funeral. After that all happened, it wasn't really a sad event because everyone was happy to meet up and have the family together. It was like a family party, a celebration of her life. Everyone walked to the top of the hill to catch the coach back to Mexico City, and the coach wouldn't start. It wouldn't kick over. It was freezing cold. Everyone was unprepared. No blankets. The house is basically abandoned, and everyone had to get off the bus and return to the house. The house was abandoned. There was nothing there. It was freezing cold. So everyone migrated to the town nearby, which happened to be the 1st of January. And with Padre Jesus, where do you go? Everyone went to the church to hang out. And, the party continued. It went the funeral overnight, the next day, and then everyone went to Mass for Padre Jesus. Since then, it's become a tradition for my whole family to come out here every year. Firstly, in memory of my grandmother, Chapita, but then also the tradition to be involved in the night of meditation with Padre Jesus. It's become a special event for everybody. But what has become is the first night's a big party, and the second night is let's start a fresh start and a new year. So I haven't missed this party. This is my 8th year in a row that I've come out here, and I guess that's because to me, my grandmother, although I wasn't exactly close with her, she helped me in ways that I couldn't understand until recently. She would write to me and send me these messages that I needed to study, that I need to think about what I want to achieve in my life, that I need to look after my parents, that I need to, be family. Like, family's really important. I look back and I think now, all these years that we weren't exactly close, she would have been here every year praying for the Australian family, and that's really special to have somebody that maybe we didn't really know too well, but always wishing the best for you. It's like having someone on the other side of the world, constantly on a daily basis, sending out that positive energy to you. So now it's my turn, and now I'm here, and I need to think about what I want for my family. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. That's a great story. And yeah, you're right. Like, it doesn't happen every day that somebody takes the time to think about you and care about you. That doesn't happen every day. So you're gonna cherish it when it comes along. So I had an interesting conversation with one of your uncles last night, because it's like, I like your posts on Facebook. And to put it into context, I mean, just about all of Aaron's uncles are police, and nearly all of my statuses on Facebook are talking about how awful the government is. And I'm like, really? Which statuses are you talking about? He's like, they're anti-government ones, of course. They're so great. And it's kind of funny. It kind of shows how messed up this system is when even people who are in some aspect supported by this system actually recognize how terrible it is. Like, there's this saying that you can't convince someone to see something when his livelihood depends on not seeing it. But even so, he still sees it, and he would prefer something else. When we arrived in the coach from Mexico City, I was looking out the windows and just looking at the mountains, and I was kind of overwhelmed. They just look magical. It's like, that kind of feeling of nature, and it's all its majesty. And I actually had this powerful thought, like, I'm gonna grow old here. I'm gonna die here in Pachuquilla, which I didn't really know where that came from, but we'll see if that mystical moment's prediction comes through one day. Comes true, I should say. Yeah. Yeah. So Joanna, you had a story for us about the elves of the forest. Just go ahead and speak in Spanish, and we'll translate. Okay. tenías una cuenta de los duendes del bosque.
Pues yo creo que todos los bosques tienen una historia, pero en teoría este bosque que tiene un lago aquí atrás, como podemos escuchar, pues dicen que hay duendes aquí. Uno de mis familiares, me comentó que había visto uno, porque él tenía 3 niños pequeños. Entonces, los duendes no son como los pintan en realidad, como pitufos o algo así. Los duendes, él comentó que es del tamaño como de un niño de 3, 4 años, que son robustos, tienen los ojos como alien y que sí son muy feos. Él lo vio y fue como no lo puedo creer que estoy viendo. Entonces, él dijo que iba a llevar el alma de uno de sus hijos. Dice, vengo por el alma de uno de tus hijos. Y él lo único que pudo hacer fue decir groserías. No sé, lárgate, vete, no te metas con mi familia. Y de repente el duende se esfumó. Fue como desapareció. No corrió ni nada, ¿no? Simplemente lo dejó de ver. Entonces, bueno, pues ya está en cada persona creer o no, pero pues si existe lo bueno, existe lo malo.
Okay, so you're saying that like all forests can have their elves, but this one in the forest in particular. No fue este bosque, ¿verdad?
Fue Pachuquilla.
Okay, it was a forest in Pachuquilla, but not this forest in particular. And one of your cousins, you said, had this experience. There were 3 children in the family, and they came to this forest and saw what they described as an elf that looked like the stereotypical picture of an extraterrestrial with big, huge, almond-shaped black eyes. And you said that the spirit of the elf got into the child. This is like the fairy story of changelings, or the old wives' tale about changelings, where the elf sneaks in and pretends to be the child, something like that. And so the child was saying all types of swear words and couldn't stop. But then out of nowhere, he went back to normal. So do you think it's true? ¿Crees que es la verdad?
Pues es la imaginación. Ahora sí que todo depende cómo veamos la realidad. Él dice que estaba acostado, abrió los ojos porque escuchó un ruido. Entonces, al abrir los ojos pudo ver al duende, al elfo, pero puede que haya sido solo un sueño.
Okay. So you think it's a question of what we think is real or not. Maybe it was just a daydream, overactive imagination of a child. But he saw the elf lying down, like as if he were taking a nap, and got up because he heard some noise. So yeah, well, if you were an alien, an extraterrestrial, you might reasonably come to a place like this on Earth to just to chill out. Cool. And anything else you want to add, Aaron?
Just about aliens and in these kind of places. I was chatting with one of my cousins on the way down here, and it's like, do you believe in these kind of spirits or ghosts or aliens, or whatever, because nobody knows what they are. But this isn't just a one-off case. Okay, a lot of these stories come out, the family, and I wonder, is it because there's less eyes to see what's actually out here? Like these people don't come walking through here. Like even where we are right now next to this river, like this isn't a high traffic area. Like nobody lives here. This is complete natural. And we'll get some photos of the water, but the water's like fluoro blue or green. It's like it's pretty magical. So I guess children with their creativity can create these adventures in their minds, and if they were watching television and sharing stories, and like even like last night around the campfire, it's like that's, even though we've got a whole lot, 70 people at this party, and we're all having a good time and everyone's kind of branching off in their groups, it's like so many things can happen. It's like each little conversation's a different a different little world, and you kind of forget about the other people around you, and you're drinking and you're smoking, so you're engaged in your group. But I remember a couple years ago, mejor también recuerdas lo que pasó con los gemelos. There's a lot of like witch stories, and like a lot of people know it's real, whether you believe in witches or not, or that other side of those types of crafts. A lot of people here, although they pretend and act to be Catholic and they go to church, there's a lot of talk about rituals. There's a lot of witchcraft that goes on here, and I know this because this is what I'm told. These are the people do these things. So there's pretty a lot of twisted people that live so far away from the cities, and they're in here in their own little communities, and they start inventing these rituals. Like even the idea of coming out here every year and having a party, just to wish family the best and try manifest the most positive year you can for everyone that you're connected to. That's kind of in that era. What do you call that? It's kind of like
ritual ceremony.
Yeah, it's
ceremonial magic.
But yeah, it's like it's magical because you're something that doesn't exist and is completely in your mind, but you're doing it with a whole lot of people. Like we walked around the party last night, and it's a tradition that once the clock ticks over for the new year, we all individually give each other a hug, to say let's start the new year. And for the first time, I started asking people like what do you want to achieve this year? Let me know so I can, if any way I can help you, we can do something with this. And we had a little conversation about this as well with our own personal goals. Like let's keep each other in check. That's the other side of. I mean that's like affecting the future in a way of just like a positive, magical, almost. It's a little scary, really, how much belief goes into this kind of thing. I don't know. Do you want to mention? I mean, you told me. Well, actually, I want to hear from you. What was it that you told me? And I was 100% on your page saying, I know what you're talking about when I didn't. It's like, I mean, you knew what you were talking about. I knew what I was talking about. But the idea that I had wasn't the same idea. And you realize, as much as when you're talking to someone, the communication's open, you will never know what's inside the other person's head. You can only assume. And, you might be close, but you'll never know.
That's okay. So what happened was I was off I went off in the clearing away from the party for like 20 minutes to think about things, and I came back and I was rather drunk off the pulque and like rather merry, I should say, and I said to Aaron, "Listen, man, here, what matters." The man in the mirror. That's what's important. Yeah. And it's true. So I was making reference to a poem, a famous poem, and the idea of the poem is that if you work hard and get money and you get fame and people kiss your ass or whatever, and none of it actually matters unless you can look yourself in the eye in the mirror and feel like that's a good person. So that's the final judgment isn't with your friends or your family or anyone, but you. Not with God, but you. You are the final judge of your own worth. But you had a completely different interpretation.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did because you said to me, do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what I'm talking? I said, I think so. But then I paused and I thought, wait a minute, just in case I don't, you might want to explain it to me so I can confirm that I do. And then you went through and explained. I was like, yeah, that's not what I was thinking. Because I didn't realize it had anything to do with me. I thought Kurt was talking about himself. But then later, as he explained it, I was like, wait a minute, I'm the same person. I need to be completely comfortable looking myself in the eye and say, are you happy with what you're doing, and are you happy with the man that makes you? and I'm completely at peace. Like, as I said, of course, my heart's in the right place, and sometimes we all have to make tough decisions that maybe fall into a very grey area, and it's may not be right, but the reasons why you do it seem right to you at the time, and that's all part of life. That's like the complicated moral compass that we need to continually tune and check in on ourselves with. But overall, after that little conversation, it was, I think we both looked each other in the eye and said, we're cool. Things are good. And we've got a big year coming up. We've got a few surprises and a few new projects we want to kick off. And, and we're a good team.
All right. Cool. So that wraps it up for the Paradise Paradox. Feliz Año Nuevo.
Feliz Año Nuevo.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody, and make it a good one. Peace.
Caminamos unos 5 minutos, luego sí podemos pasar, o si no regresamos.
¿Ustedes creen que hay un duendes aquí? ¿Los pitufos? Sí, es demasiado bonito para que no haya nadie. Alguien tiene que disfrutar con esto. Cuidado porque este está fuerte. Lo malo es esta, la basura.
Sí.
¿Puedes tomar una foto, mi amor? Aquí en la piedra.